Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be watching the in the what the Engoodening the Engoodening of No Man's Sky. What the fuck does that? I mean, I don't know what that is. That verb. What is that? Engoodening. Okay. I've never been like in the whole No Man's Sky loop. Anyways, I first time heard it in the Corruptional podcast, and I wasn't really interested. Anyways, I played basically the Space Engineers, and one game that I played for ages was Empyrean Galactic Survival, I assume. But that's it. And I really highly suggest Empyrean because it's a very fine game. But yeah, let's see what is it. I mean, I don't know. I really didn't bother to follow up on what was the name of the company? Good Games? Hello Games? Yeah, let's go. I really love the first one. I love the 76 because it was so informative. Like, it was actually informative and funny as fuck. So we're going to start this video in the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Sponsored by that game everyone loves.
What?
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos.
What the fuck?
Questions we
Was
once
it a
thought impossible
KKK
to
member?
answer
What was that?
are within our grasp. Where does the sun go at night?
Is math related to science?
Okay, I know.
If the universe is so big,
I know
then why
where this
won't
is
it fight
going.
me?
As we look further into the universe, we see light
Holy
from
shit.
distant stars,
That's a dude
eons
from
old,
every other
perhaps
documentary
hundreds,
ever.
even thousands of miles away. Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating
what the
6
fuck is with
times
the
zoom.
artistic fucking
Can this baby do 7?
takes
I
the
can
voice.
do you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
Pressurizing, holding steady.
Yes, I love
I
it.
can see it. Unblur.
It won't hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tanks will go critical.
Opening the blinds. Hold her steady.
What?
Uncropping and increasing
Jesus,
aspect
what is that?
ratio. Now, punch it. There it is.
What the fuck is that?
Life on another world.
Are those cows? What
And
the
to
fuck
think-
is that?
We owe it
Okay,
all
that's
to
fucking
one
creepy. What the
indie
fuck is
development
that?
studio. Hello Games.
Hello Games, okay. So the company name is Hello Games. I heard about that
Let's start
one time.
at the beginning.
As I said. The hype. Was it hyped?
Yeah. It's rewind time.
Okay, that's awesome.
The year is 2009, Guildford, England. There's a man named Sean Murray, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010 AD. The game just came out. It's a success.
They're a small team,
Shit.
but they are ambitious.
Let's do something bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars. How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012.
Okay, but let me see what's on the board because one of it was awesome. Raid Shadowy Regions? What? Car Football, Rocket League, some game. FPS chess game. I think, wait, isn't that like the one that EA gave? What was it? The game when it's turn-based and soldiers kill each other and your teammate can die forever. I don't remember. Turn-based COD. And the same idea. World of Warcraft driving simulator. What the fuck? That would actually would be cool. It would be like that Apocalypse game. What was the name? Mad Max. Oh, that was a fine game, wasn't it? GTA, but it's the whole war. Almost the crew, but I mean, that was shitty anyways. Cyberpunk 1977. Shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Prince of Iran. No, thank you. My country has enough shit. Reverse battle royale where circle gets bigger. That doesn't work though. Like, what the fuck?
Let's reach
I
for
couldn't
the
read the other
stars.
That
How about
doesn't
Joe
work.
Danger 2?
Okay, let's see again. No Woman's Sky. Oh god, that's just mean pain. Mean pain. Oh my god, is it Max Payne? That is a multiplayer. I mean, that would probably be just a porn. CD Mears Quake 2. I don't know what that means. Domestic Violence Simulator. 2011. Dark Souls, but really easy. That would be just Skyrim.
Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 has just come out.
Bet that one doesn't perform as well.
We need to do something even bigger.
Again, it's new. Holy shit. Let's see. Red Dead Redemption set in modern day. I would love that. If with the same quality, like with the astonishing quality, if it's possible. That's running, but only cuts. That would be perfect. It was a very... I'm not gonna talk about that strength because that's fans and shit. Minecraft 18+. Blocked boobies don't work that well. Farming Simulator Drought Edition. What the fuck? Drought. What is drought? As in it's very hard, I assume? Because isn't drought like something that causes famine? I don't know. Guitar anti semi-final fantasy. Jesus. Fallout prequel before the apocalypse. That would be a brilliant idea. It would be just maybe, I don't know, what would it be? Like, what? What would it be? Like, just the city, literally. And the end game would be the apocalypse. I don't know. Red Tiber Simulator. What's a Red Tiber? I don't know. Phone Call of Duty. Fucking idiot. All female Battlefield 1942. And maybe in 2025. Animal Crossing cross-dressing. I never had the privilege of having a console, handheld console, so I don't know about that. Plants versus Plants. Okay, that would be fun. That would probably be fun. I mean, isn't it something like that? They probably modded the original Plant vs. Zombie to do that. The second to Last of Us. The second to Last of Us. The second... I don't get that. I mean, my English isn't good to get that. The second to Last of Us. Second to last. Isn't that like second to last? Not the first? Like basically the same game? World of Warcraft single player. I played a lot of that. I mean, I actually got my hand on a core server and played. I think it was Burning Crusaders that I played single player. But I mean, you cannot just level up and fish and shit. There's nothing else to do. So that would be fun though. That would be just again a Skyrim or something like that. But yeah, let's
Then
continue.
Joe Danger 2. Joe Danger
3?
3?
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
Even more
why not
out
go
of
the
this
same route?
world. Something no man has done before.
Joe Danger the mobile game?
Yes! And that came out in 2014. Seriously, guys, biggest thing you can think of.
I'm just a stock image, dude. Why don't you think of something?
Sean pondered for a moment, then turned and
Sure.
looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If
What?
you're gonna make a space
What
game
the fuck?
first person,
What?
never been done
That's
before.
fucking Joe Rogan's
Put them up
podcast.
in orbit to repair the Hubble telescope.
That's not a match. Who are you gonna have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing through your body
What
now?
is happening? What the fuck is that? Oh man. Okay, that came out of no fucking nowhere. I want to see that again.
Have never been done before. How about that?
I'm going up in orbit
How about
to
that?
repair the
I
Hubble
love it.
telescope.
So that's not a knife. Who are you gonna have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing through your body now?
Planet, said Murray. Space game. Procedural generation. Planet.
Wait, was
Okay,
No
that
Man's Sky
sounds good.
procedurally
yes,
generated?
we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
No Man's Sky.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Wait, was the picture? I assume the internet historian added those pictures, but that was seriously good. Okay, so this is basically. Okay, now I see how this was like. This is basically Imperial Galactic Survival. It's like it is the game.
It's 2014, and it's E3 hype time.
But with
No
not
Man's Sky has promised to
that
be a
much
game
graphic.
like no other. A practically boundless
was a
experience
big
vibrant
idea,
with life
like,
and
I
color
can't
and
deny
things to
that.
explore. What's over there? You'll have to be the one to discover it. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur. Holy
pretty
shit.
again.
And a moment later, we're in space having a battle amongst a giant fleet.
Holy shit.
Claim a planet as your own. Explore the galaxy with your friends.
Okay, that's it. This is going to be the best game.
The thing is, if you're not like familiar with gaming and shit, that would look fucking amazing. Because it's basically Destiny's ships and like everything, but you write them. You play with them. You change the world with your own, like in your own
For you
way.
guys.
That
It
would be
even won
amazing.
awards for its hype.
Something like Eve, but
And it
way
will
more
release in
playable
June
and not boring
2016.
as fuck.
The hype train was officially loading up and ready to chug out of the station. At every stop of the journey, there would be
What?
press junkets.
Wait, that was Tonight Show?
The hype train was officially loading up and ready to chug out of the station. At every
How the fuck was he on the Tonight Show? And not with like those lowlives, with Sting and Colbert. Like that's
stop
okay.
of
That's
the journey,
insane.
there would be press
Not that
junkets
Trevor
talking
Noah is
about the
not good. I
amazing
love them
scale
all,
of the game.
almost.
Spread across 18 quintillion planets. It's so vast that by the time you finish exploring it all,
Jesus.
I would have 2 new videos published. Sean himself was doing the interview. Because who is better
I'm
to talk
subscribed.
about the game
I
than
haven't
the
seen
lead
any
guy
more videos
himself?
so far.
He went
New
from
one of
interview
these.
to interview, and with each question, the answers he gave raised people's expectations
Holy
of the
shit,
game's
okay, that's-
scope.
Can you land on a comet?
Yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids. You could encounter other players.
Can you grief other players?
A little bit. They're literally building your own like massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Funny enough, you can do both those things on Imperion and the Space Engineers.
Sand planets like in June, rivers, walking sentinels, hacking. So sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms, they had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon
What
Musk
does
was
it have
hyped
to
for
do
it.
with periodic tables? Did they like introduce new elements?
2 years go by. It's early 2016, and that hype train is really moving now. Perhaps one of the
Damn it.
biggest in video game history. Reddit was shoveling most of the gamer fuel. Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast.
I think one of the reasons most games fail because of it is because of Reddit hype. Basically Cyberpunk 2077. That one, Reddit basically ruined that for me because I was so fucking excited for like this RPG crazy like flawless game. Came out pretty shit.
Thrown from the carriage doors. Pre-orders open, and they are doing very well.
Oh,
The
God.
date is booked in. Some are even taking the day off work. So much hype there is that... Uh-oh. Jason Schreier of the soon-to-be defunct Kotaku
That's an issue itself too. Like, let me go back a bit. Like pre-orders. Like seriously, the only game I pre-ordered ever, 2 games actually, Battlefield 3 and Kingdom Come Deliverance, because I actually played the alpha and I fucking enjoyed it. That's the only 2 games I actually.
The date is booked in.
ever.
Some are even
I
taking
don't
the
know
day
about
off work.
this one because it's an
So
original
much hype
IP.
there
I
is,
really
but-
doubt it would do good anyways.
Jason Schreier of the soon-to-be-defunct
kids.
Kotaku is about to spoil the party. He announces a delay. From June 2016 to August.
Oh my god.
Liar, the incensed audience cries. Please be quiet, they said. And death threats, too. But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced. Ooh, sorry lads, we need more polish, said Sean in his usual accent. To that, Sean received some death threats too, by the way, although he didn't take them as seriously or go to the police. Yet.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
But the impatient crowd relaxed a bit and said, fine, we will wait. But we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, why are they... Is that a watermelon they're polishing? What is that?
Speaking of waiting, Shadow Mania. Have you heard of Raidy Shady?
Oh yes, of course I did.
Hey,
Ever.
let's get
Every
serious for a
fucking
moment.
time.
Raid isn't just a game with 15 million downloads in the last 6 months. It's a lifestyle. Think differently. Play Raid differently. Achieve your dreams. I'm sorry, sir.
Z?
You've contracted raids. That's good.
Oh god, that's cringe as
It's
fuck.
Gorgorab
What's
of
in
the
the
Undead
fucking
Horde, my
KKK
lord. You just collected one of over
setting
400
of it.
champions. Why, hello there. Have you
fuck
heard
is
about
that?
the online RPG PvP? It's extremely well reviewed on the Play Store. Oh, you remind me of my wife. Raid is more than just a game. It's a reassuring pat on the back from your dad.
Wasn't it a
It's a warm bowl
lifestyle?
of soup on a cold night.
God.
It's one last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all getting Raid for Christmas, kids. Yay!
Jesus,
And if you download
this
now,
is
kids,
bizarre.
using the link in the description below, you can get an extra 50k silver and an epic champion.
I downloaded
it's
it.
the best dad
God damn. Okay, that was so
Wait.
funny.
Mum's dead?
It's still going.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Ad over.
Oh my god. If you don't download it, I mean, you're just a monster. Holy shit. Okay, that was fairly funny. I'm sorry, let me clean the other part too. I'm sweating a lot because this is hilarious.
Let's talk about the team in
Continue.
charge of all that polishing. It's small. Tiny. In fact, I haven't been able to find a small...
Are you kidding me? Wait, 6, only 6? How the fuck are they are like even... How did people even pre-order this? They didn't know about the team size.
The team behind a AAA release.
Jesus Christ.
All of these expectations are on the shoulders of just 6 people, expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production.
2 of them are Sean.
July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release date. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out. The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted. Look at
Soy
what
face.
video game production does to a man.
God, what's wrong with your
Oh
face?
god.
Nonetheless, they continue, working on the day 1 patch. And... uh-oh. Sean,
wrong?
if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay? That's right.
Wait, is that real?
It's a leak. Someone broke the embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. And the bids start rolling in.
I'm sorry, but Western fucking action speakers are the best to me.
It's a leak. Someone broke the embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. and the bids start rolling in. It reaches $1,300
How do you know what to say?
US.
Oh god,
Sold
that's
to
high price.
Some guy with the Reddit handle Damien. He gets his hands on it and starts uploading footage to YouTube and Dailymotion.
Oh god.
What the frick? Said Sean and Sony. Damien
why
finished it a lot
Sony?
quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This, what I'm looking at right here, this is what the game is supposed to be.
He noted a few problems, but said he was optimistic that they would be
That's
ironed
an
out
arc too.
with the day one
They
patch.
swim in a very weird manner.
Sean? It's another leak. Some retailers broke the official release date. Journalists too. And they started streaming playthroughs
journalists?
of the game.
Polygon? Why? Oh my god, that's really unethical though. Fuck.
Sony tried to DMCA all these videos, but their aim was terrible.
Round of applause, everyone. We've officially
Rooster
become
Teeth.
no man's censored by.
Wait, isn't... Oh yeah, that's Gus Rollo and that is Ashley? I assume.
By Sony.
Our news story from earlier this week about No Man's Sky leaks has been hit with a copyright strike on YouTube.
They went bumbling around from platform to platform, just taking down
God.
any video that even
Who is
talked
that
about
person?
the leak or showed the trailer footage.
I don't know who that
But it was too
Asian
late.
person is.
The footage had people talking more skeptically about the game, especially because there were no early review copies.
That's bad.
Oh, that is just the same as fucking Cyberpunk with consoles, isn't it?
It was looking like the weight
Oh,
of all
God.
these expectations had become too much,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole thing was about to give.
When they say they are like recreating the elements and shit for light techniques without ray tracing that comes 20 years later, 10 years later, you can guess it's going to be
Oh, no.
some bullshit around.
It's August. Everyone's here. We've all bought the game and we're fucking hyped. Here we go, lads. Oh dear lord, it didn't finish. Hello, Sean. It is me, the auditor of games.
Monster.
I used to work at an astronomy lab. Don't worry about that. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist. Have you got any large-scale joinable space battles?
Nobody would want that.
Ringed planets?
No.
Fine, well, at least let me play as a trader.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call
them treasure.
Those sand planets from June look nice. Think I might... Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No, it's not.
Oh, God.
Animals interact with each other in the environment?
No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask whether I can play as a space pirate?
Is that a no?
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house!
Fly between star systems manual.
This motherfucker's gonna kill me. Let's go back to CJ.
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it yet.
If I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
No.
Well, day-night
How
cycle.
how can that not be in it? If you...
It's determined by the orbit of the sun.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Land on an asteroid, radio chat, and name your shit. Hacking, portals, all that stuff about the elements, Sean.
No.
This is not good, Sean. This is very not good.
I mean, to be honest, in most of these space games, especially like the ones that I played, not No Man's Sky, I know that making orbiting work is highly difficult because the spine point changes and you basically might be in the middle of the space when you log in. So that kind of makes sense, but there should be like a way to create like a dynamic a spine point that is directly connected to the point that you put it. Basically the medical base and shit. But I don't know how they...
And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo.
Buried buildings, aggressive emojis, tractor beam malfunctions, animal husbandry, oil slick world, raining grass, retarded animals doing retarded things. Ship's interiors disappear, first-person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation, leaving the planet. Take off. Really take off.
Oh
God. Holes in the map. Holes in my graphics card. Whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out. Animals bugging out. Animals breakdancing. Look at these busy hands. Hello there. And a couple of unrequested ejector seats.
That is horrendous, yes.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No, wait. Poor graphics rendering. Some can't even start the game. Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering. Alt-tabbing? That's a guarantee.
Wait, 1080 Ti was shitting? Back then? Wait, when was this? When was No Man's Sky coming? Let me see that first. Let me see that. Because I need to know. I need to fucking know. No Man's Sky release date. Come on. 2016. Okay. I thought it came in 2010. I'm a moron. 2016. Okay. Yeah, to be honest, 1080 should have been 1080 Ti. If it's not working, that the game is fucking shit.
Crash. Top notifications. That's a crash. Playing the game. That's a crash. Changing options in the game without restarting. You'll get this. And if you got the pre-order version with the bonus spaceship, you might have a problem. Your special ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it. Great, right? No, because you have to craft it in order to finish the tutorial missions. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system.
Oh my
god.
God.
Until they patch it, you're stranded.
So basically because you already have the tool that they gave you with the bonus money that you gave them as a deluxe version, you're fucked. Alright.
That's why I give my kids...
This motherfucking 76 too! Holy shit! I don't know what that is, but it's awesome. Not the injury, the fucking...
ship's in bits!
Jacksepticeye.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game, and just how many people bought it on release. Myself included. Over 750,000 purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month. And the large proportion of people who bought it in the hopes of playing with their friends, well, you're in for a surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Oh, the multiplayer.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I heard about that one too in the podcast.
On multiple
I think there were actually lawsuits about this because that was absolutely false advertisement.
That Sean said that it was
fucking important.
Definitely
and it's
in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Oh,
can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
On Steam, oh my god, he said it on there too. Okay, dude, you're fucked. You fucked
Just before the
up
release,
so badly.
Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game. Please don't go in looking for that experience.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line contradicts that.
Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero.
Oh, man.
So it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this finding each other hurdle.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah! Right? No,
is that true?
It's more confusing than that.
Wait,
because the box doesn't mention online play, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers. But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable,
Chances that are incredibly rare, just because of the size of what we're building.
on the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they met up on the same planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
So wait, was it true?
Our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now, if you don't move.
Yep, that's the same spot.
He literally lied.
And they can't see each other.
Out of his fucking ass. Oh, that's so...
That settles it.
That's so
It's
fucked up.
not multiplayer because it's so big. It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer. And this led to quite a revolt. What did Sean have to say about all this?
He looks
so
fucked
amazing.
up.
2 people found each other on the first day.
That has blown my mind.
That doesn't
So why
change the
can't
fact
we
that you
see other players in game?
Wow, so many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean, but what?
Truly amazing.
What?
My mind is blown.
What the... What? Wait, did he just make that shit?
So
or
what's
was
the
that a
game
comic
actually like?
literally
Is
about
it
this?
good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well, it certainly is stylish and pretty, and there are a lot of places to explore. But that doesn't mean there's much to find. In fact, the game boils down to a very simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, leave the planet...
Wait, there is no battles at all? There's no, like... So you're just exploring shit. You can't kill shit.
Go to another planet.
No boss fights.
Get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it. $60, ladies and gentlemen.
Refuel your multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead of the mining beam, refuel...
That's fucking why I love Space Engineers, because you can refuel all your equipment with 1 hour of good mining, and you can just leave it alone for the rest of your gameplay, basically.
Your launch thrusters, it's busy work that makes it look like you have something to do. It's not real.
How dare you?
What followed was one of the most dramatic crashes in player numbers in gaming history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second week. Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September, and fewer than 1,000 by October.
And what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon
to just over 2,000 by September, and fewer than 1,000 by October.
And what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon in gaming history.
Jim Slaney.
Reviewers on YouTube panned the game.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Angry!
I had no hype.
Yeah, they did.
And I can
I'm
tell you
sorry
that,
for you,
even
man.
without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Has anyone coined
Jim
Sean
Sterling.
Molyneux?
A lovely
Numerous
person.
times within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, "This is it. Fuck this
Wait,
shit."
was that Jim Sterling? I haven't watched any of these reviewers in a year or 2 years at least.
Reviewers in the media
so sorry
were
if I'm
almost
getting
as
some
harsh.
people wrong.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
The criticism
So there are some
was deafening,
combat.
and a lot of it
Ouch.
really funny and creative. Cat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out.
So people are furious. The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial, pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks.
Fucking Minecraft in space!
Many people made compilations of all the unfulfilled promises. One guy on the subreddit compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote. In fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked.
So by the end of the month,
God. Oh, God.
Cheerios.
Oh,
By October,
shit.
it was one of the...
Okay, that is fucked up. Because it's harsh enough to see a game that is mixed and you say, it looks fun, let's buy it, but with some salt. When some games are like
disarray
that...
it had to be locked.
So by the end of the month, Metacritic was like scrolling through a bowl of Cheerios. By October, it was one
Overwhelmingly negative. That is like, oh man, that's just
one of the
so
worst rated
fucked up.
games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative from more than 70,000 reviews. The outrage at the game was headline news for weeks.
I'm just thinking about the pregnancy test that's like mostly negative. What the fuck does that mean?
On dozens of games news publications, and the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop was crashing through the floor.
$1.
Please, no more. But the beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I've just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No, bad Murray.
I could have ended the demo with some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
People see what's going on with the game and feel lied to. This is false advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out a lawsuit. On September 28th, the ASA busts through the door and goes, "Yep, too many complaints.
Oh
We're
yeah, I assume so."
But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing. Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box, what's on the store page, and what's on the Steam page.
Government.
So it's technically not false advertising. But of course, technically not illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience.
Yeah.
October 28th, Hello Games
fucking
Twitter
shit, it
is
doesn't.
hacked. The hacker posts,
Oh, really?
No Man's Sky was a mistake, and is shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also sent discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile people up if published. Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door, even at night and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office, so, naturally out of context, this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran. This in addition to numerous bomb and death threats during that period. Those ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle
Sony.
push under a minivan when Sony president Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR
That makes more
strategy
fucking
for No
sense
Man's
because
Sky.
I was like, who the fuck
The press took the ball with that one and ran. But despite all of this, all of the negative press, they were actually nominated for a couple of awards. But by this point, Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win.
Wait, what happened?
That they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
And the Innovation Award
just
goes
left.
to No Man's Sky.
God, so cringy. That's not cringy, like he did his best. He's awesome.
Whoops.
I'm going to accept this on the behalf of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And now I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
GDC.
By this point, you've got to feel just a little bit sorry for them.
But he just straight out lied his ass off. On public television, like that is... I feel a bit bad for them because they were so small and they were just stupidly and arrogantly ambitious. But that doesn't change the fact that he lied his ass off for no fucking reason. He could have just said no. You can't do that.
And then what followed that was the final straw for many. No particular incident, but a lack of incidents.
Oh.
Silence.
Shit.
Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky. Where are they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray? Shouted into the void. The game was over. and it was dead.
Jesus. But I mean, there's way more on this video. Same story, another side. Wait, what? Rewind time again. I love it.
The year is 2000 AD.
AD?
Sean has just graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world. He rises up the ranks in a number of studios, eventually working as a technical lead for Black
going way back.
and technical director for Burnout 3.
Oh, okay, that's a good fucking
When
game.
Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s.
That's such a good representation of EA. Is that a bacteria?
And
the smaller company getting absorbed in their fucking filth?
When Burnout's developer is bought by
it
EA,
used to be fun.
he is in his late 20s. And he and 3 of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio.
Good job.
Hello Games.
Okay.
This was a risky venture.
So we'd done this incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title, Joe Danger. They work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place. Because who would be working at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night?
Oh god.
But they
Holy
had to
shit,
work that
that's
hard.
just inspiring.
Like any startup, it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop.
I mean, looking at their computers, you can understand that they're working with no budget, no crazy
living off savings.
That's just fucked up.
And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
So we made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house.
What the fuck
and just
happened then
basically
with the
went
fucking other game?
all in and funded what we were doing, which is not something I would recommend anyone else do.
But by June 8th, 2010, they had done it. The game was good. And they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back. 2 years later, Joe Danger 2 was released. It was not the commercial success they had hoped for, and they didn't want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen into. In his spare time, Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013. So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family.
God, okay, that's a
all
bit
this
terrifying.
development, he would go
No
on to
offense
have
to these
3
children.
kids. So the weight of responsibility is really
in this
piling
economy.
on.
God,
But their
that
hard work will
economy.
pay off, as they're finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Bad news.
For fuck's
Rain.
sake.
Rain and flooding in the south of England, right around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated and they return from
They
their
lost their
holidays to
fucking
find
data.
laptops floating around at waist height. But some good news, they hadn't lost any data.
Oh.
So they pull together. Soldier on. Development continues.
Okay, let me read that. I was reading the thing that
But
was
some
under
good-
it. Sony and Candy offered them research to help them recover from the floods, but offer was declined. Why? I mean, I don't know. I don't know about Sony's conducts and shit. I don't know if they are
News,
a good company.
they hadn't lost any data. So they pull
So
together.
I'm just going to
Soldier
don't
on.
even comment
Development
in fact, that it was a blessing in disguise, as a team at the time was kind of splitting in two when the flood happened. They all had to. And some of this was okay. That's kind of. We have time to get this video. Too much people. Perfect pausing the video just to read this. Kind of, yes. No, I have some more respect for him, at least right now.
So
he
here they are,
understands
working in
that
a damp office.
even in like the shittiest kind of, when shit happens to you, you can kind of look at the good side
And
of
then,
it too.
ding dong. Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gerlis. He's seen the game, and he says, they are using my super formula in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded. So back to work, guys. Ding dong. It's Sky Television. They've seen the game.
You are infringing on our Sky trademark.
They said in perfect text-to-speech. They had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's 1 under threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit didn't just go away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years.
Jesus fucking Christ, for the Sky!
Right up until the month
Fucking
before release.
greedy motherfuckers.
So they get back to work and ding dong. It's Sony with some good news for once. We like a game, kid. We want to feature it front and center and make you a big star.
Okay.
This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue. They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers, they had their developers, and that was about it. So it's up to Murray. Sean's in his early 30s now. Not super young, but relatively young, and inexperienced for this type of media circuit. This deal with Sony put extra pressure on him. It set deadlines. It's not that it's Sony's fault.
I mean, not to be like negative, but like he looks like a nerd. At least when he's talking about like things, I think he couldn't really focus even in all of those meetings at all. He looks like someone like me, like someone that can't really talk in crowds and shit. Like what do you call it? Like house people? I don't know the term.
But they're locked in now with much less flexibility. So when May rolls around and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks. From here, you can predict what's going to happen to multiplayer and a bunch of other promised features. So here's how the hype happened. Scope of game. Time. And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is steady and ends in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations. It should start out here and follow along the purple, but the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here.
Oh god.
In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016. That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation and it costs $60 and there's a collector's edition.
Ooh.
Second, even bigger mistake. That puts us all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem.
60 means AAA. Like 60 literally means AAA. And when there is collector edition, that means, oh, you're looking at Fallout. You're looking at Witcher. You're looking at like Last of Us. All those huge games,
because
like Battlefield shit,
set
Call of Duty shit. Yeah.
For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing. Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game
For
or an
60
alpha,
I want Doom.
no problem.
The best kind.
But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category.
Jesus.
That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed. Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem. Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature. Now, some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews. It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. expect more of a 5 out of 10. No, the publisher just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge middle finger to them. The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either.
That's an issue.
So, it's kind of stuck up there.
Sadly, that is an issue.
In some ways, during the interview,
whatever
it
you
tries to
said,
temper
it's there.
expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station?
No.
Okay, that's nice that he said that. Thank God.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type.
Oh,
And the big
introvert.
lights
Okay,
and
that
stuff
is
on
the
camera
thing
does
that I
not
wanted
come
to
naturally
say.
to him.
Sadly.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes. Yes, definitely. I
Just
personally
look at this.
find going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing I've ever done. That's something that I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
Literally
that
the
kind
hardest
of
thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his game
can't
from
argue with that.
2013 to 2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
Right.
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost. But I think the truth is more complicated than that. Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new IP. Their project and plans are constantly in flux. They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game.
True.
For example, orbiting around the sun.
Day has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the live compilation it goes. So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done. This is how journalism is done.
Can you customize the look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky. Periodic table to create atmospheric.
That's just if Sony could have gave them a good, like, someone else to do it for them rather, because I can't just blame it on journalists. I mean, it's partially their fault too for like not giving the full detail, just giving the headline and the most like controversial one. So it is on him too. Like, at some point he knew he's fucking shit up and he's giving expectations and shit that he can't do.
Particles
I'm
that
not
would
gonna
diffract
continue.
light at
Let's
just
see
the
what
right
happens.
wavelength.
Told you.
The press kind of operates downstream from the community because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope dramatically and keeps increasing as the months go by until a point. They are close to the deadline and have to delay, and the reality of what they can achieve in the little time remaining is staring them in the face. They know they're not going to be putting out a finished game. They're worried. There's nothing more they can do. And the fear that they will disappoint the audience is growing on Sean and the team.
I worry about, like, disappointing people.
Upon release, all of these clips are seen as proof that Sean is a liar. And what doesn't help is his body language. I mean, it's kind of the body language of someone who is lying. And this is why I mentioned he's an introvert. Remember, he's a technical lead. Actually, a really good one. But not a salesman. Cut him just a little bit of slack, because this is simply how he talks. Here are some innocuous questions, and he answers them honestly.
lead producers on No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I guess I'm a developer on it. I suppose the.
Okay, I get what he means now. What is that? What are you doing? What is that? Poor kid. I mean, I feel bad for him now.
Creator
so
or
much.
something like that.
No, I really like making games. I don't necessarily love talking about making games.
I think you did a good job.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional. This is so fucked up.
Mate, seriously.
Same body language. And Jesus Christ, they have him up on stage and in front of cameras and bright lights and on the goddamn Colbert Report. Try keeping your nerve on that. Nonetheless, free of that context, the clips have him cemented in the community as a liar. So the graph plays out right to release. And that graph, it's actually a track. And that track is what the hype train runs on. So it comes barreling up the hill. Instead of neatly pulling into the station, it comes crashing right through the roof. The disaster unfolds. They are absolutely shit on. So there were Sean and Hello Games, surrounded by the rubble of their former reputation. Punished Sean was at his lowest point. Hated by the majority of the gaming community. But they were still alive.
Wait,
and they
who
the
are
rubble
they?
of their former
YouTube,
reputation.
Reddit, and what?
Punished Sean was at his lowest point. Hated
Steam
by the majority of the gaming community. But they were still alive. And they had made tens of millions of dollars. They were left with two choices. Take the money, start a new project, and be a pariah. A cautionary tale of the industry and hated by the gaming community forever. Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
Wait, what the fuck was that?
Forever.
For negative EUA? What? I don't get that. Sadly.
Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
So which one
It allowed me to do something that I've always done in difficult times, whether it was crappy bosses that I've dealt with before or crappy situations in
the
school growing up.
updates.
I
They
got
did
my head
patching
down,
it.
I sat in front of a computer, and I made games, which is what I enjoy.
They picked number 2. So, here's the plan. The team is assigned to fixing bugs and the most obvious problems. Go. Sean tells the team to stop reading all the overwhelmingly negative feedback on the game, and he reroutes all of it to his personal devices. Emails, forum posts, Google News alerts, player feedback, it's all going directly to him now.
Okay, as someone who deals with negative comments, not as much as this, I mean, he did a magnificent job of doing that. Holy shit, his mentality would have been collapsed after like being shit on that much, and now he's dealing with all of it from all the source. Oh my god.
Then he starts breaking that down into data sets. People who haven't bought the game, people who have bought it and played it for 100 hours, people who have returned it, etc. Then he starts compiling those complaints into usable data, focusing on the people with the most sincere experience of the game. Then we start making a big laundry list of all the things that need adding and prioritizing. First thing to fix is that full inventory. Then community mod support. Then a third thing, etc, etc.
The best option?
This is
just let the modders do the shit, like, and fix the game. Like, but
It's going to take an enormous amount of work to pull off, and they're not going to make the same mistake twice. So they would need to sharply adjust their PR strategy. Anything they said right now, an admission of guilt,
I've made a severe...
would be met with criticism. Denial, it's not that bad, would be met with criticism. Corporate speak, well, we endeavored to make the best game we could, and we are proud of what we would be met with criticism. Half of the problems have been caused by speaking too much. So they were going to do a complete 180. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, instead of accidentally promising fixes that might also not be delivered, they wouldn't speak to the press again.
Female traits you're talking about, I'd say that's a generalization, but you've used...
They were going to speak to the community directly from now on. So they told the audience they were working on it and went completely silent. 1 day passed. No word. 2 days. A week. Have you heard from Hello Games? They just had this disastrous release. Nope, haven't seen them. I hope they're working on the game. 2 weeks. Dude, are you working on this thing? Just ignore them. Just work. 3 weeks. Okay, what the fuck is going on?
WTF, it's locked.
A month. They took the fucking money and ran, didn't they? Didn't say anything. It's not going to help. 2 months. 3 months. By now, most people were convinced that the game was abandoned. They had made their money. It's all over. Then, after over 100 days of absolute silence, a tweet. Foundation. The first big patch. It is me, Sean. No, go away, Sean. I am mad at you. It's been too long. But I bring you gifts. Accent sucks. It brought base building.
I love
new
the
game
thing.
modes, farming, camps, and
Goddamn.
freighters, as well as a lot of bug fixes. You'll have to try harder than that, Sean, to win my love back. It still fell well shy of the promised game. Too little, too late. So Sean left, returned to his team, and got back to work. A few more months went by, and then another tweet. Pathfinder.
What do we have here? Okay, those are some cool devices.
What? Oh, it's usual. I bring you online base sharing, own multiple starships, starship specialization, multi-tool specialization and classes, permadeath modes, vehicles you can drive around in, and create racetracks for them too with time trials.
Ooh. Alright.
Look at this.
Okay, shut the fuck. Okay, I won this game.
But I'm still
now.
mad, and there's still a ton promised that.
Because, okay, if the sound design is the same as it was in this video, when your ship bounces on the ground and like creates noise,
Isn't in the game yet.
That's so realistic.
So Sean
not just fun. Fuck you.
A few more months went by. Knock knock.
I usually put everything in arcade.
What is it now? I bring you an overhaul to the storyline, new worlds, crashed freighters, space combat, terrain editing, portals, procedural mission system, interstellar trading, and joint exploration. By now, people were really starting to warm to No Man's Sky again, and to Hello Games.
The game has in many ways exceeded what was promised.
It's a substantially better game now.
No Man's Sky is back, baby!
People saw this was an
Chill
honest
out,
effort
John.
to fix the game,
John,
and the number of
I
people
know all of them. I
who's
know all of
working
them.
on it was growing. From a studio of 15 to 25, Sean Murray and Hello Games social media also started becoming more active and engaging with the audience. The subreddit was flourishing once more. The price of the game secondhand on Amazon, eBay, and GameStop was going up.
Nice.
Then a few more months went by. Next, a really big patch.
8.3. That's literally nothing in 2020, sadly. The Modern Barker putting out like 200 gigabyte patches and shit.
I just got goosebumps.
What's happening?
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not fuck that. Here's
Yeah.
the full and proper multiplayer
Oh my
experience.
god.
Ringed planets, third-person mode, character customization, a galactic atlas on an external website for the community, vast overhauls to base building and crafting and resources, and it also brought the game to Xbox. In fact, with the release of Next in July 2018, No Man's Sky was the 6th top-selling console game for the month. It climbed its way back into Steam's top 10. It reached nearly 100,000 concurrent players. It brought another
That's so sweet.
$24 million across all platforms. Their Steam rating went from mixed to very positive. People were getting back on board in a big way. But they weren't done yet. Better creatures, weird underwater shit, discoveries in bases and environments and equipment, and it keeps going. New biomes, more diversity, archaeology, more things to discover. By now, Sean and the gaming inspector, personification of the gaming community, had literally patched things up and were making out on the couch. Which was when he released his biggest patch to date of this video.
Oh my god, it's you!
Free VR support. Not a whole other game.
VR?
For, like some titles.
Oh my god! Okay,
Overhauled
that's
to
fucking
NPCs.
true first, but VR support usually makes your game
tech tree, base
fucking
build.
amazing. Just imagine, like Phasmophobia. When you look at the game, animations aren't that amazing. But when you're in VR, even the chunky animation can fucking terrify your ass. So VR changes everything. If you haven't experienced VR, just try a demo or something.
Streamlined multiplayer.
It's amazing.
Ride animals around. All sorts of stuff that was never promised in the first place. And they're still adding more stuff.
Someone at Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, what you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions.
In fact, I was so slow to get this video out that they put out another patch the other day, with ship salvaging, ship upgrading, more advanced terrain editing, first-person exocrafts, improved VR, improved base building and inventory management, and quality of life stuff. It goes on. Is it perfect? Technically, there are still things on this spreadsheet missing. But come on now, we're starting to nitpick. Especially when you compare them to relationships with other games companies. They could have gone the route of Fallout 76. Paywall mods with Fallout First, charging a monthly fee, a downward spiral more and more into pay-to-win scraps released without QA testing. But instead, they never added pay-to-win. They never added microtransactions or paid DLC. They never made VR as a second game. They didn't give up on the game or scale their resources back to do it. They didn't come out and call gamers entitled. They didn't add loot boxes. They didn't start work on the next big project or sequel.
Oh my god. That is so fucking true. It hurts me to look at Ark because I love Ark. But it's still a shitty game. Like, it's still full of fucking bugs and
they
just make
much of anything
bunch of DLCs
except
that are just
get back to work.
Half of our shit.
And just like that, the game once panned by critics now had awards rolling in.
Your developed star 2019, No Man's Sky, Sean Murray.
No Man's Sky next.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky's next.
No Man's Sky.
And to cap it all off, the subreddit No Man's Sky the game even got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe to have a billboard installed near the Hello Games office.
What? Let me see that again.
And to cap it all off, the subreddit No Man's Sky the game even got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe to have a billboard installed near the Hello Games office.
Oh Jesus, I'm crying, I'm sorry.
It must have been a harrowing moment for Sean and the team. They took a huge risk to start a small studio. They clawed their way up to create one of the most notable games of the console generation. Disappointed pretty much everyone with the release, and took one of the biggest online beatings in video game history for it.
As a family, post-release, we faced some really difficult challenges. Everything that you can imagine from like the worst of the internet, we hit.
But then over the course of the next 3 years, completely turned it around and came out the other side with a win. It's the underdog story.
Yeah.
And after doing all of this research, I couldn't help but come to the conclusion that they were the good guys. So what is the future for Hello Games? In 2017, they announced Hello Labs, a support program focused on original titles and games using procedural generation. Two of the team also branched off to work on a small title called The Last Campfire. But for the foreseeable future, they're just working on No Man's Sky.
They fucking announced a new game the moment this video. Did they? Probably not. No.
Alright, I didn't want to finish the video on like a big sappy note. So, this is the end of the story, but there's still another few minutes. Don't leave. It's not an ad.
Okay, wait. Before we get to the next segment, I really want what happened with No Man's Sky to happen with Cyberpunk 2077, because that was probably the only game that I looked forward for an unseeable time, and I was so fucking excited for, and especially when it came like after 2020 and like after a word of pain and shit for everyone. I wanted something that is nice, something that like an RPG that gives because we haven't had a decent RPG in so long. It's been like 2 years. The last RPG I played that was decent was maybe The Outer Worlds, and even that had some issues. And Cyberpunk, oh my god, it disappointed so badly, sadly. If you love the game, I'm sorry, but as an RPG, it's not. So let's just see the
Okay, in 2015, when the hype was at its peak, someone wrote a Sean Murray erotic fanfiction. And, naturally, I assumed that you lot would want to see it.
What?
So, here it is. My evening interview at Hello Games. I arrived at the Hello Games office in the early evening as the sun was approaching the horizon. Taking a deep breath, I nervously pressed the doorbell. The door opened, and Sean poked his expressive face out to greet me. "Hey you," he exclaimed in his adorable British-Australian accent. "I'm so happy you could make it and spend the evening with us." "I was so happy when I heard you agreed to let me come in for an interview," I said. "Oh yeah, the interview. I forgot," he replied with his usual brilliant humor. I laughed. "You're so funny, Sean. Let me show you my office."
Okay.
"I have a surprise for you," Sean said. He led me to the room where we sat down on a soft vinyl couch. "So let me show you the surprise,"
Where's
he
this
said
going?
softly. "It's the newest build of the game. We just added some new features." He booted up the game on a PS4 in his office. I stared at his face. I like your beard. It's sexy," I pretended to say to him in my head to myself. I had a secret crush on him. There was something about his humble demeanor and feeble yet handsome bone structure that was so alluring. "So here's the game," he said eagerly. It opened on an alien world.
I love that fucking rushly crop
to be explored.
image
I
that
began
he
to
uses.
sweat.
I love it.
Here it finally was, in front of me in all of its glory, and it was being played by Sean in front of me in all of his glory. I nervously spoke.
Nicely done.
"Could I try playing?" I said. "Oh, I suppose, of course," he said, chuckling. But another few minutes passed without him handing me the controls. "Sean," I said more confidently. I put my hands on his hands as he gripped the controller. He looked me straight in the eyes. I stared deep into his beautiful, glistening eyes, utterly transfixed. "Sure," he said. He let go of the PlayStation controller, still sweaty from his firm grip. "But I have another surprise to show you." He stood up.
Redacted,
he muttered. "Yes, please," I said, blushing as red as the treetop
What
of
the fuck is this?
He grabbed my shoulders, guiding me confidently towards the coffee table, like he confidently guides the Hello Games team towards the game's release. The one true Sean Murray, not that baby-faced loser arsehole poser from NCIS. Made sweet love to me.
God.
I wasn't sure what I was more excited about. Finally,
redacted,
Sean Murray, all finally playing No Man's Sky. After exploring the planet's surface, I entered my spaceship and took off. Just as I left the atmosphere and burst into the breathtaking expanse of space.
redacted.
It was an out-of-world experience.
Oh, no shit it was. Story didn't got overly graphic. Thank you for not continuing. Oh my god, are you kidding me, boy?
Oculus Rift support, he uttered sensually. As I turned, I saw Sean's avatar standing before me in a beautiful, procedurally generated spacesuit. "Like what you see," he said. "It's time, everybody," he shouted. I heard footsteps slowly enter from the cramped office. I soon saw many spacesuits appear before me in-game. But as they took off their helmets, I realized that they were all the same Sean Murray avatar. I was a group of Sean Murrays, but they all had one difference. The
Redacted.
each
Redacted.
was different.
Oh my
There
god!
were wide ones, thin ones, long ones, curved ones. It was magical. As the Hello Games team began to...
Redacted.
From somewhere in the room, I heard Sean whisper, "Every
Redacted.
procedural."
Okay. Oh my god, I kind of lost consciousness in the middle of that. That
So
was
I did a thing on
very-
the second channel.
wait,
Please
what?
do check it out. I thought it was quite good.
Wait, what? Internet is run incognito. Incognito? Like in Arma?
I love the videos on the second channel. It's some erotic fan fiction over there. So why not check it out?
Oh, it's over. Okay. 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 Okay, I went through so many emotions in that fucking video. Happiness, sadness, like awkwardness, and extreme sadness, and then fucking, what the fuck was that at the end? You ended it, you almost ended it in the perfect moment when they won the fucking awards and shit. What the fuck was that at the end? I loved it, but holy shit. Ugh. The way he described the outer space and then explosion from the other side, that was the worst part for my brain to handle. But okay, so let me see the incognito too. In internet history. Wait. Internet history. Incognito mode. What is that? Oh, it's a completely different channel. Let me subscribe to that too. I mean, again, because I wasn't really a big like follower of No Man's Sky. I mean, I probably get it and play it in the future. But I mean, I wasn't the follower, so I didn't really get hyped that much. I just heard about it in some podcasts and shit. And I'm completely focused on Cyberpunk now. I follow that every day, usually mostly subreddit and Twitter and like their website, but they fucked up hugely, so I'm waiting for that. I mean, they didn't fuck up as much as like Fallout did and No Man's Sky did based on what I've seen. But the console disaster was unforgivable. Seriously, literally. They had to just take it off the fucking PlayStation Store. Like, that is, how can you even talk about that shit? But yeah, guys, that's it for now. If you want me to check out something else, tell me in the comment section. But yeah, for now, have a nice day and goodbye, everyone.